It is Wednesday, July the 16th, 2025. We are live. And for those of you that don't know, I've been going live at 11 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday for 3 months now, Shannon? 4 months? How long has it been? Few months? Few months? But anyways, it really doesn't matter. I'm live right now, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay and you just happen to miss the live, please, if you would, bless me by hitting the thumbs up. Everybody watching live right now, please hit the thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's talk about this. The Democrats, every time they feel like they're going to lose something, or not even if they feel like it, but when you can see that they're about to lose something, when they can see it, they call racism. They call racism on everything. The Democrats are about to lose seats in Texas. And they're mad about it because they're redistricting. Am I saying that right? Redistricting the locations in Texas, which is going to actually go to the benefit of the GOP, Republicans and Americans, mind you. See, the Democrats, they tell everyone that they're fighting for people of color because of this redistricting that is going to be racist if the Republicans do this, because nobody black will have any voice any longer. The Democrats have never had a voice for black people. Now, they've utilized black people. See, when the Democrat Party was created, it wasn't created so black people could have representation. The Democrat Party was created when it was created, and then they had slavery. They wanted slavery. The Democrat Party wanted slavery then. The Democrat Party wants slavery today. And if you disagree with me, I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you that the Democrats, it's the same Democrat Party of during that time of slavery. It's the same Democrat Party today. They haven't changed anything. I mean, the cat's out the bag. But anyways, the Democrats are screaming racism because they're about to lose some seats here in Texas, rightfully so. Now, when the Republican Party was created, part of the reason why the Republican Party was created, so black people could have representation, so they can have a voice. And the Democrat Party has hated them ever since, because a group of white people got together, they did the paperwork, they filed the proper paperwork in the court system, which created the Republican Party. And the Republican Party, some of the first senators were black people. So can you imagine how Democrats felt about that? Oh my goodness, they're going to destroy our country. They're going to destroy our democracy. Yeah. Democrats have been evil all this time. Nothing has changed. They deceive people. They got people to believe that they're the party of women, the party of minorities, party of people of color, party of the small business working man, and it's all been a lie. And it's all coming to the surface now. For people that never even paid attention to it before, they're starting to recognize it. This is how bad the Democrat Party is, and they're collapsing. Yes. You know, when I've told this story before, when I picked up my first selfie stick and I started doing videos, one of the things that I wanted people to realize is how evil the Democrat Party truly is. And the Democrat Party, they're doing a better job at it than I ever could have expected. I'm doing my part. I've had many people, and I'm going to limb here and say I've shown, I don't want to say influence. I've shown thousands upon thousands of people why the Democrat Party is wrong for America. And I've had hundreds of them call me, send me messages and say, Will Johnson, I didn't think to look at it this way until you said something. And then you got me to open my eyes and look at it. Look, and I don't even take the credit. I believe God gets all the credit. It's not that I even believe. I give God all the credit. God just using me. And I just want more people to wake up to the evilness of the Democrat Party, the evilness that they're pushing. Well, see, the Democrats will go so far, they will even push violence to get what they want. You remember the Summer of Love? Do you think that was about one person? One person? Was it Minneapolis? One person? No. They use that They used George Floyd as a martyr, as a mechanism to do destruction across the country. And that's what they're looking for right now. They're looking for the same thing. When it comes to the illegals that they're fighting for, the non-American citizens, they're looking for a martyr. But this martyr has to be an American citizen, has to be a Democrat, has to be someone that gets in trouble or gets shot by ICE. You know, I've talked about it already. You've seen it. Well, apparently this Thursday, tomorrow, I didn't even know this. There's an event that the Democrats have put together countrywide, all across the United States of America, to protest against President Trump. And this comes on the hill, I guess, what was his name? He passed, he was a Democrat. What was his name? You remember his name, Shannon? Do you remember his name? What was his name? I can't remember his name. For the rally tomorrow that the Democrats are having. He passed. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. And I cannot remember. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But I'm just being told that President Trump is live right now. And, you know, I got to cut it right now. And we got to go to President Trump. President Trump is live right now, and we're going to go to him to hear what he has, what he's talking about, because he's taking questions. He's in the White House, Shannon?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's in the White House. Okay, let's go to President Trump.
They admitted it. They admitted it this morning. Quiet. Go ahead.
You mentioned fraud in your earlier answer. Are you saying you want to investigate the Fed chair for fraud related to this renovation?
Well, I think he's already under investigation. He spent far more money than he was supposed to on rebuilding. I didn't see him as being the kind of guy that would want to have parks, rooftop parks, and everything else on top of buildings. But who wants to spend that money for the Fed? The Fed is supposed to sit there and say where interest rates are going, and a couple of other very easy things to do. And he spent $2.5 billion. I think he's got some problems.
Mr. President, thank you, sir. You also reported a monthly surplus in the month of
That's
June.
right, $25 billion.
A ton of money with these new tariff rates coming into effect on August 1st. We're going to be bringing in even more tariff revenue, specifically. How much revenue do you think we can consistently bring in from these tariffs? And how big of a game changer is this, not only for the economy, but also fiscal responsibility?
Well, we're going to be bringing in, already we've brought in over $100 billion. We'll be bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars. And the tariffs really haven't kicked in that much other than automobiles and steel. August 1st is a big day. August 1st is when very substantial money comes into our country. We've made deals with a lot of great places, but we had one yesterday, that was announced. We have another one coming up, maybe with India. I don't know. We're in negotiation. When I send out a letter, that's a deal. In other words, that's a deal. They don't want to ever say that. Oh, how many deals have you made? The best deal we can make is to send out a letter. And the letter says that you'll pay 30%, 35%, 25%, 20%, in one case 50%, Brazil, and because what they're doing to their former president is disgraceful. I know the former president. He fought like hell for the people of Brazil, that I can tell you. And I believe he's an honest man. I think what they're doing to him is terrible. So, we have some pretty good deals to announce, but every time we send out a letter, that's a deal. The big one really is going to be on the 150 countries that we're really not negotiating with, and they're smaller. We don't do much business with them. Because you have a lot of countries, you have over 200 countries, a lot of people don't know this, but we'll have well over 150 countries that we're just going to send a notice of payment out, and the notice of payment is going to say what the tariff, and it's all going to be the same for everyone, for that group. They don't, they're not big countries, and they don't do that much business. It's not like the ones that we've agreed with, like China, like Japan, where we're negotiating with them, but I think probably we'll live by the letter with Japan. We're very close to a deal with India where they open it up. Indonesia yesterday was it wasn't an open country. Now it is. They have tremendous copper, quality copper, and probably the most copper. And we made a deal with Indonesia. We pay no tariff, zero, and we have total access to trade. That's a phenomenal deal for our companies. And we've agreed with them, as you know, on 19%. They pay 19%. And it's a good deal for them, and it's a good deal for us, so in that case. But we have a number of them coming up. But overall, we're doing well, and we're taking in a lot of money, a lot of money. We have the number one, we have the most oil of any country in the world, even more than them, which is hard to believe. But we have a little larger piece of land, right?
We do, sir.
But we're number one in the world in oil, and we're drilling, and today it hit $64 a barrel, which is great, and that'll help stop wars, actually. If you want to know the truth, it's going to help stop wars, and we hope to get it down a little bit more. But we have oil down to $2, $2.25, $2.50 in numerous states. We hit one at $1.98 a gallon, and that's a great thing. That's one of the reasons that inflation's in check. When you can do that, you stop the inflation. What Biden did is he ended our policies, went to his policies. He didn't have a policy. Some lunatic around the desk had a policy. Whoever operated the auto pen had a policy, which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about, not Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal you should be talking about is the auto pen, because I think it's the biggest scandal, one of them in American history. So the economy is doing really well, and people are saying it. Yeah. Please. Go ahead.
Will you ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to rest?
Yeah, whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But it's just a subject. He's dead. He's gone, and all it is the certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook, and no different than Russia, and all the other hoaxes. They're started by the Democrats, and some Republicans. In this case, I was surprised, but they got duped.
Have you talked about
Go ahead.
President, first of all, you're high-ranking officials, whether it's been your FBI director or Bondi, they have made some inconsistent statements in the past.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak about him, but I can say that Pam Bondi, I really think that she's done very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information, and if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems. We have problems with millions of illegal people that came in here, and they're killers and murderers. We have 11,888 murderers that were allowed into our country by Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, stupid Joe Biden. He allowed them into our country, and you know what? We got to do something about it. She's got a lot of things she's working on. And
Stupid Joe Biden.
It's very sad that somebody can be waylaid, that just get waylaid. But I think she's doing a great job, personally. Go ahead.
On your presentation this morning, you mentioned past supporters when we were talking about the Epstein issue. Does that mean that you're effectively disowning any supporters?
No, but I lost a lot of faith in certain people. Yeah, I lost because they got duped by the Democrats. The Democrats are good for nothing. They've done a terrible job. They almost destroyed our country. If I didn't get elected, all these numbers you're hearing about, they found $25 billion and another 25 is coming in, and hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country. And we just got the biggest tax cut in history. We just got the biggest regulation cuts in history. There'll be no tax on tips. There'll be no tax on Social Security. There'll be no tax on overtime. There'll be no tax on so many other things. You're allowed to deduct your interest from a car payment. That's never happened before. You borrow interest. You borrow money to buy a car if the car is made in America. And by the way, factories are being built all over America, car factories, AI factories, but you get a deduction on your interest. Nobody ever thought of that before. It never happened before. And, these are the things that they should be talking about. The big, beautiful bill is one of the greatest pieces of legislation ever in this country. And the Democrats have nothing to combat it. So they say, oh, it's death. Oh, that's good. And then they give it to the fake news, which is you and a few others. And the fake news talks about the bill is death. The bill is actually life. The bill is life, and it saves our country. This bill is incredible. Look at the results already. So we have $16 trillion being invested in our country. And this great gentleman and his family just came in with another billions of dollars. And if he didn't like the country, if he didn't like where we were going, he's very smart. He'd come, maybe he wouldn't even come. I think maybe he wouldn't even come. You'd save your time. But, because, it's one of those things. But if he didn't like where this country was, he wouldn't be investing billions of dollars in this country. But think of it, $16 trillion, more than has ever been even contemplated before. And we haven't even started yet. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the success. And the Democrats have nothing to show for what they do. They almost destroyed. They allowed 25 million people to come into our country, gang members, jailbirds, from all over the world, not South America, from all over the world. They allowed them to come into our country from mental institutions, insane asylums, just walk right through. They couldn't come into your country. They couldn't come into any country in the world except our country. And they came in from the worst places, gang members, drug dealers. They all came in. Turn it off, please. They all came in. And I'm doing something about it. We have it under check right now. We got rid of a lot of the murderers already. Some of them we put in our prisons because they're so bad we don't want to take a chance in putting them in a foreign prison, have them come back. But we've done a great job. Our country's in great shape. We literally have the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it's true what the king said, what a lot of people said. We were a dead country. 1 year ago, we were a dead country. We were laughed at all over the world. We had Afghanistan with that horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Look what happened with Russia and Ukraine. That should have never happened. Look what happened with Israel. That would have never happened. Hamas had no money. Iran had no money. There was no money to do an attack like that. All these things that happened that wouldn't have happened if you had good leadership. And that's what you should be talking about. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. President Trump, talking about the Epstein files again. And rightfully so. Good for him for bringing it up. But, I guess he kind of put himself in a position saying, look, if she finds some credible information, then she can, by all means, she can release it. So I guess he just gave her an out and gave himself an out on that. What do you think, Shannon? I think he just gave themselves an out for all that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like once I heard yesterday what was his name? What's the Alan Dershowitz was saying? He was saying that because he actually helped prepare some of the stuff for Epstein. He was one of the lawyers on his staff. And what he did was he did some of the investigative type stuff, like looking at, what they had on Epstein. He said that he can tell, say with total confidence, there's no one that's in a position of power right now. And he said that, of course, the judges were holding the information and they don't have to release it to Bondi and them. So as far as it goes now, based on, of course, what Dershowitz said, I do believe that there's probably not much else that Trump can do at this point. They could sue to get the information, I guess. I don't know. But I did feel better that knowing that there's no one in power right now.
Yeah.
According to him.
Not that
I believe everything that everybody
Dershowitz.
says.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Dershowitz of all people, yeah.
But Trump is right. We do have some issues right now, and a lot of it has to do with the Democrats, with the midterms, with them attacking ICE, protecting illegals. Like, of course, I do believe there are more important things right now. I believe that dealing with the corruption and the stuff that they've done to Trump, you know, from the very beginning is very important. I hope.
And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people were kind of upset that President Trump didn't go ahead and release the client list, the flight manifests, the flight logs, all that information, because of what the Democrats have done to him, and not just to him, but to the American people. And a lot of people saying that they want justice for the victims, right? Yeah. And I get that.
And you know what?
Trump justice for the victims. But really, I think the victims, because the victims are still some of them that are still around, the ones that haven't spoken up, I wonder why they haven't. Maybe they just wanted to go away. Maybe they're embarrassed that they were caught up in that, which I completely would get.
Now, I don't want to say I wasn't upset that they didn't come out. I was the first one. I was watching him live and I was like, do you believe what he just said? This guy saying, I can't believe we're still talking about Epstein, and he's the one that was talking about Epstein. So of course it did irritate me, and maybe it's wrong for me being like, okay, like there are more important things, but do something. Like, that's my biggest disappointment, is we're not having anybody be charged or exposed for any wrongdoing in anything. I mean, that's what I'm sick of. You know, Pam Bondi, even beyond Epstein, has not really gone after anybody that we can see or that we know of right now.
Yeah. And now again, like I mentioned yesterday, they're throwing us a bone, you know, maybe Obama putting him in handcuffs. And okay, so what I said before President Trump, before we went to President Trump, it was John Lewis. And actually a couple people in the chat actually knew exactly who I was talking about. So apparently they're supposed to be having this event tomorrow around the country that in support of John Lewis, but not just John Lewis, but they're trying to say that the Republicans are trying to get rid of voting rights, which is a bunch of BS. There's not a single Republican that's ever came out and said that we need to remove the rights of women or black people from voting. See, when the Democrats are saying that the Republicans are preventing people from voting, you know who they're talking about? Illegals. Because illegals should not be voting. But see, they never say that. Undocumented, what they always say, undocumented migrants, they shouldn't be voting because they're not American citizens. But they never put that information out there. Well, apparently there's this company, well, I think it's called crowdsourcing or something like that, where they get a mob of people and they go out and they protest against President Trump or any
It's called Crowds on Demand.
Crowds on Demand for the mob. So in this case, they went to this company and they were going to pay them $20 million for them to go out and get people to be paid protesters. What the left said it doesn't happen, to get them to be paid protesters to go out and protest tomorrow, Thursday, July the 17th, around the country to be anti-Trump. And the guy turned it down, $20 million. And he turned it down. Listen to the reason why. Uh-oh.
Have the organizers of the July 17th demonstrations approached you?
Interests aligned with the organizers of the July 17th movement have approached us. And in fact, we rejected an offer that probably is worth around $20 million.
$20 million?
Correct. I mean, this is a nationwide thing, right? It's not to say I would have made $20 million personally, but the value of the contract would have been worth around that amount nationwide to organize huge demonstrations around the country. But personally, I just don't think it's effective. So I'm not trying to call myself virtuous for rejecting it. What I'm saying is, I'm rejecting it not because I don't want to take the business, but because frankly, this is going to be ineffective. It's going to make us all look bad.
And the reason why it's going to look bad is because every single time Democrats bring paid protesters, even George Floyd during that time. They're violent. The Democrat Party is the party of violence. The Democrat Party is the party of everything evil under the sun.
So I asked Swart who exactly offered him the $20 million. That, of course, was the natural question, but he says he would not say, says he does not talk about who exactly his clients are.
Okay, so we can't say George Soros. We can't say the name. Don't say the name.
It would be bad for business, and he's been in business for 15 years, and he has to turn down a lot of contracts. But, interesting, $20 million is it's a lot of money.
Oh, Brian, quickly, before I let you go, did he explain about why he doesn't want to be involved with Thursday's protests?
Well, he said he had some concern about violence based on what he's seen in the past, but mostly he just doesn't think that it's productive or really making a difference, big picture, about how the country feels about President Trump. And he says he just didn't want to get involved.
I'm not buying it. The reason why he's not getting involved because it's not productive. Someone's going to come to you and throw $20 million worth of it to you contract, and all you have to do is put ads out there to get people say, hey, we're going to pay you $200, $50, $60, more likely like $200 to go out there and be anti-Trump. We're going to pay you to be anti-Trump. And he's saying that he's not doing it because it's not going to do anything. The No Kings event, what did that do? When they had the No Kings event, did they get anything out of it? Did they get any results that they were looking for? What happened with that? Nothing. It just shows how stupid they are. That's the only thing that it did. So they didn't gain anything. They didn't get anything. Not going to either.
You know what? Well, and that's such a good example. The Kings and all these other protests, the Tesla protests, what really came out of that. The sad thing is them showing this guy crowds for a purpose. They basically are paying protesters. These people are not genuinely protesting.
No,
they're paid to be there. Right now, protesting the old-fashioned American way is you have a dispute with either a representative or things that are happening in America. But when you start, certain people only pay certain people to go out there and do it, it basically makes the protests like frivolous anymore. I mean, they don't mean anything anymore. They really aren't representing people. What it is doing, though, is it's getting clickbait, and it's maybe bringing attention to their purpose. It's really a way of advertising an activist agenda.
Yeah. Do we have a time when this protest is supposed to be taking place tomorrow?
I didn't read it. I'll look.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious because if it's close enough, I would like to go. And I'm going to wear my new T-shirt that I haven't worn for anyone here yet, but I'm going to wear my new T-shirt that I just got in the mail. It says Alligator Alcatraz. So I'm going to wear that to the event if it's close enough and it's, I have the time where I can go do it. Well, now let's talk about this because here Hakeem Jeffries here in the state of Texas, and I guess he's here in Texas or maybe not. But they're talking about Texas. Well, Texas is redistricting the locations here to possibly remove some of these Democrats. That's not doing anything for the people here in Texas. I'm in Texas for those of you that didn't know. Got out of California. But they're trying to turn Texas blue. They're trying to turn Texas into another California. That's their objective. I mean, they're working really hard at it. They're spending millions of dollars in trying to do that very thing. Well, the Republicans here have changed the districts, and the Democrats are upset. Now, when Democrats do this, you're not supposed to complain about it. You're not supposed to say anything about it. You're just supposed to allow it to happen so they can gain more seats. They're about to lose seats in one of the biggest states that they're trying to take over. They're trying to take over this state. They're working really hard at it. Well, listen to this sourpuss, Hakeem Jeffries, complain about what's happening here in the state of Texas. And of course, he loves saying MAGA extremists. If I could get a nickel for every time he said, I'll be a millionaire right now.
Those choices should be made by the voters in Texas alone, not Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, Governor Abbott, or MAGA extremists who want to manipulate the election, which will have an adverse impact on the quality of life of the people of Texas. We are unified. I'm thankful for the leadership of the members of the Texas delegation who are fighting on behalf of their constituents and every single resident in the great state of Texas. All of us should be focused on rescue, relief, and rebuilding, not egregious redistricting of the Texas congressional map as part of an effort to undermine free and fair elections in Texas and in the United States of America.
Oh, so see, for them, it's a bad thing to do. They shouldn't be focused on that. Really? They should be focused on their constituents, for the American people. Well, couldn't they apply that same concept to them fighting for illegals? Couldn't they apply the same thing to that? See, they're upset because this redistricting that's happening is going to cause them to lose seats. It's going to cause Republicans to have more power in this state. This is what we need. When I left California and I moved to Texas, in my mind, I was thinking that I was moving back to America. I was moving back to America when I moved to Texas. Little did I know, Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, all of them are ran by radical leftist lunatic liberals. And they're destroying those cities. The trash everywhere, the homelessness everywhere, the poverty. It is just terrible. They're defecating on the streets. I mean, it is terrible. They're trying to turn it into California. But so I'm glad that they're doing this. And of course, the very fact that they're doing this, the Democrats are saying, oh, it's racist, it's racist, it's racist. Every single time. When they scream foul, it has something to do with racism. This has nothing to do with racism. This is about giving the people representation. This is what it's about. But the Democrats don't want you to have any representation. The Democrats only want you to adhere to whatever it is that they say because they know what's best for you. Even though they're making things terrible for you, but they're lying in their pockets and it's fine. You know what? I'm so looking forward to the Democrat Party just being completely crushed. They're not doing, what benefit do they give us? You know, I've asked that question for years. Can y'all name one thing, one beneficial reason why we have Democrats? I mean, think about it. It's like one beneficial reason why we have Satan. What is the benefit of Satan? I mean, it's just a question. Maybe I get to ask God, what is his benefit? What's the benefit of having Satan? And I don't understand. But obviously there's a reason. Because God wouldn't have it there if it wasn't for a reason. Same thing with these Democrats. For the life of me, I cannot understand why we have Democrats. Like cockroaches. Another example. What's the purpose of a cockroach? Cockroaches are just like Democrats. I don't understand the reason. They're not benefiting us. They're not helping us. They're not doing anything that oh my goodness, this is great. The Democrat cockroach. What is the purpose? That's not being mean. I'm just asking a question. I still can't. Maybe y'all can let me know. Let me know in the chat. Here's a primate example of a Democrat cockroach. It just happened to be Jasmine Cockroach. Listen to this because, of course, it's all about racism. It's about racism for all of them, every single time.
What happened if they gerrymandered? Can you talk on that? Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, it hasn't quite been said clearly that Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. And so I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state. The state is a majority minority state. And what this legislature historically has done is what they plan to do again, is to dilute the voices of people of color in order to make sure that they can get to where they're trying to go. This is bald-faced lie. And see, of course, she's doing this because she's trying to fearmonger. Say, oh my goodness, this is racist, what they're doing. You see what they're doing. People of color, every single time. The Democrats have never gave representation to people of color. They never have.
The only thing that they do is every 2 to 4 years, they go and tickle the ears of people of color. Yeah, vote for us, vote for us. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. Look, don't complain when we give you projects and ghettos. Don't complain. We gave you something. As long as you don't have the father in the household, but we gave you something. LBJ said these N-words, we're going to have them voting Democrat within the next 200 years, and only did it within 60 because they gave them a little bit of here and a little bit of there to make them think that they had something, make them think that they were getting something. And she's just picking up the mantle, running with it.
We saw this Department of Justice decided to put out a letter. And what did they do? We only have 4 seats that are represented by Black folk, where the vast majority of the people that get to decide who they have represent them are Black. They decided to attack 3 of the 4 seats that we have in the state. They decided to go after a Latina. They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say, we are going to dilute minority voices. So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory.
Really? Then how in the world, if Texas is discriminating against people of color, how in the world is this idiot a congresswoman? Please explain that one. Really, please explain it. How was the idiot standing next to her? This idiot right here. How was he a congressman? I mean, really, explain it. If they're discriminating in this state, the only people that I've ever experienced discrimination from are radical, racist, white liberals. That's the only time. Even when I consider myself a Democrat, it was only Democrats that did it. It was only Democrats.
That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate that's exactly where they're going with this map. It's the only way to do it. We didn't understand how we got to the map that they gave us last time because that state was grown by 95% people of color. They went out of their way to make sure that we got 0 new seats for people of color. So that's exactly what they're going to do this time.
This has nothing to do with your color. Has nothing to do with it. They're adding that in there. Like, let's just say this is the reason why this is happening.
Listen, this has been a typical tactic of the Democrat Party. They've done this in many, many states. And so now they're sitting there going, oh, how dare you do this in Texas? How dare you follow what we've done in so many other states?
Yep.
What we've been able to accomplish. The sad thing is they want to do it to Texas. They just have not been able to do it.
Absolutely. They've been really trying to do it in Texas. Well, listen to this. Here's Scott Jennings. And this, you know what, technically this should be the Scott Jennings show because that's the only reason why I would even tune in to watch any of it because Scott Jennings. But Abby, she thinks she's the arbiter of truth. She knows everything. She knows all and she's everything. But Scott Jennings, he brings up all of the other locations where they've done the redistricting. And of course, they go, but when did that happen? Was it during the midterm? Like it matters. The point is the Democrats did it for their benefit. Was it racist then for them to do it? Because they didn't do it to help out black people. They did it so they can take more power.
So what does it signify that Republicans ahead of the midterms believe that it's going to be so necessary to get an upper hand that they have to actually redraw an entire state's congressional maps in order to get 5 whole seats out of it?
Oh, probably the same thing that it signifies when they did it in Illinois and got a 14-3 delegation for D's. Maryland 7-1, Massachusetts 9-0. We know what happened here in New York, California. Even though they have a commission, we all know what goes on there.
In a mid-cycle specifically, are all of those cases in mid-cycles?
All of these cases are where Democrats use the power they have to give them an advantage.
But just to be clear, because I didn't.
Just to be clear. See, now this where the pushback comes in. where he just listed off all these locations where the Democrats were doing it. But just to be clear, we're talking about a different time. You know, we're talking about like the midterms. Like it really matters when it took place. The thing is, it took place. When the Democrats did it, bunch of hypocrites, demonic demon hypocrites, it's okay when they do it. And they're not doing it because of racism then, right? They're just doing it because they want power. In this case, when the Republicans are doing it so the people can actually have representation, the Democrats get upset.
Do the research that you did in the break here.
Wait a minute, does she ever do any research? I don't think she does. And she's breaking in. Well, I didn't do the same research you did during the break. Like, you only did this. You only found this out during the breaks. Okay, well, at least he did it.
I have to give him an advantage.
But just to be clear, because I didn't do the research that you did in the break here, is it that they're changing it after the actual census process where you're supposed to create you're supposed to go through the congressional redistricting process?
Does it matter?
Yes,
it does.
very much.
I think that's the whole point.
So it's okay for Democrats to lopside these states 9-0 in Massachusetts?
Here's what I will say about this. I mean, I don't.
Did you catch it? Oh my goodness. Does it matter? Does it matter? See, they did it after they did the census reports. And you know the reason why the Democrats love the census report, because when they bring all these illegals in, they're counted there. That's when they count those numbers, and they love those numbers because it works in their benefit. So, you know, they moved them. They brought the illegals into the country and they put them in certain locations to try to get more seats. Right there. There's all the proof right there. And now they're all mad. They're all mad, piping mad, angry, because the Republicans said, nope, not going to allow it to happen. Not going to happen. But just like everything, the Democrats are the racist ones. Let me put it this way. Have y'all seen that meme where they show this guy like he's gone? He's gone. And it's racist. It's a guy laying down and he's labeled racism. And then, of course, a Democrat has those things, clear, where they shock them to bring back racism. The only reason why we have racism in the United States of America is because Democrats. If every Democrat decided to deport themselves outside of the country, we would get rid of 90% of the problems that exist in this country. 90%. That's huge. If the Democrats, all the Democrats, were to self-deport 90% of the problem. Now, the other 10%, because we're human, we make mistakes. Things happen, right? The natural thing, just naturally things happen. Someone driving down the street, not paying attention, and they bump into somebody, right? Natural things happen. But if we could, if we can remove all of the evilness from the country, the Democrats, we would alleviate 90% of the problem. Here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Here's Ana Navarro, where she's having a conversation. And of course, she targets this young man and she's at him because he's white. And she's talking to him like he doesn't know anything because he's white. And then he says, wait a minute, are you saying it's a bad thing? And then she tries to flip the script. And then, of course, you got Abby. Abby jumps in there to save the day every single time. Watch this.
Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
That is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latina.
You see that? It may be hyperbolic for you as a white man, technically saying because you're white. Because you're white. That's a problem. Now listen to his response to that. And then she tries to flip the script. Now, see, you know what? You know what, Shannon? If it was the other way around and they said this hyperbolic because you're a black man or a black woman, they would remove that person from the panel. They would remove that person from CNN.
Most likely.
If it was the other way around. If it was the other way around. Y'all listen to this. talking about race. Again, the only reason why racism exists in this country is because of the Democrats. And she'd like to say that she's a Republican. She's not. Come on, let's be real.
It might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly
So
not hyperbolic for me as a
racist.
Latino. No, I'm not being racist.
To dismiss my opinion for being a white
No,
man
I'm not
is
dismissing
racist.
your opinion. I am
Yes,
telling you
are.
that the Latino community, the brown
lot of them
community
disagree with you.
in
You do not
America.
speak in one voice
Okay,
for
well,
them.
let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic. Let me
insulted me
respond.
racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it to dismiss my
Being a
opinion,
white man
yes.
as an insult?
When you invoke it,
Are
as
you?
an
Do you
argument.
think? Do you think Latinos are living under circumstances that other people may not be right now in this country?
We're about to have a whole conversation about that very thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to make a point that, Brad, all she's saying is that her view of the situation is different from yours.
No, she's not. That's not all she's saying. She literally said that he has the problem because he's a white man. She literally just said that. And then, of course, Abby, she jumps in there to try to defend her for being insulting to, and of course, like I said, if it was the other way around, they would end up, if he said this to Abby, they would end up walking him out. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to leave right now. But see, it's okay for the Democrats to be racist towards white people. It is okay. They've made it okay. It is absolutely disgusting.
I think that's an insult.
She basically said, I'm wrong because I'm a white man.
She just said, I see it
No,
differently.
I said, I see it differently
She
because
said,
I'm an
I
immigrant
see it
Latino.
differently from you, which is not an insult.
That's not
It's
what she
and
said.
It's also
That's not what she said.
not a racial
It's also
insult.
not an explanation why
But
I'm wrong.
we have a lot more to discuss.
That's not what she said. Let me play it again, what she said. Because see, Abby just lied. She just lied through her rabbit teeth.
Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
Because that is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh.
That's what she said. Are you kidding me? See, why does she have to bring up the fact that he's a white man?
And she says, as a white man, she didn't say, I have a different view than you.
Yeah.
As a Hispanic woman.
As a
That's not what
Hispanic
she
woman.
said.
She said, because you're a white man. I mean, come on.
But you know what, Abby? She totally disgusts me. I cannot stand her. She sits on there and she acts like she's the final word on what's true and what's not true. Right? And she literally twists things. Like when she saw it going sideways. She knew exactly what was happening in that conversation. But then she tries to twist it back to make it look like it's not so bad. But literally was an attack on that young man. Abby and Navarro actually owe him an apology. But they're not going to do it.
They really do.
Because it's okay to have reverse racism in this country, according to the Democrats.
Yep, according to the Democrats. Okay, we got to take a really quick break, just a quick break here. And when we come back, we got to talk about what's happening in New York.
Life can be pretty unpredictable, filled with good days and not so good days. And sometimes, the only difference between the two is your level of preparedness. The Jase case lets you be better prepared for whatever comes your way. It contains antibiotics and other prescription medications so that you aren't caught unprepared. With a Jase case, you are able to get your prescription medication before the unpredictable happens, allowing you to turn those not so good days into great ones. Go to Jase.com now and get your own Jase case.
Okay. In New York, there's a race for the mayor position in New York. Cuomo, he's in it. Current Mayor Adams is in it. And then you have Madani. Madani, this dude is a total communist. The Democrats don't want to refer to him as a communist, even though he is a communist. They say he's a socialist. Like, that makes it better. Oh, it's, a soft version of communism. He's proud to call himself a socialist Democrat. He's proud to call himself that. As if it's good. Well, here's Rashida Tlaib. No, this is not Rashida Tlaib. This is Jayapal, where she's like, oh, he's such a great guy. Such a stand-up guy. He's so wonderful. I'm paraphrasing here. He's what the party needs to be. We need more like him to represent us. He's such an outstanding, phenomenal person. Listen to her.
I think it's hard not to be won over because it's the combination of his authenticity, his smarts, and his commitment to lifting up working people and making life better for real folks that is really inspiring.
Making things better for real folks. That's what's real inspiring.
Did you hear her getting choked up?
Yeah. He's so wonderful. He's so wonderful. They're not, again, the Democrats don't care about the American people. They don't. If they cared about the American people, they will be working with ICE to remove all of these criminals that has been harming American people. She's a spy. Rashida Tlaib's a spy. Ilhan Omar's a spy. I don't know why these people are allowed to be in Congress in the first place. I mean, we used to prevent spies from going in there.
I mean, the sad thing is that these people really aren't Democrats.
No.
They're socialists in Democrat clothing is really what they are. And now you have AOC as well with Jayapal that welcomes the socialist Mamdani to the nation's capital as Dem leaders withhold endorsement. So she's rallying behind him. Jayapal is rallying behind him. Ilhan Omar is rallying behind him. The extreme
AOC
part of the Democrat Party is rallying behind this guy. And it's just disgusting. It just goes to show how disgusting their party has become. I mean, they're literally the fraction that we have said are socialists are now actually coming out as socialists. Like we're like, oh my gosh, she's supporting a socialist. That's not a surprise. Yeah. We've been telling you this for a long time.
Yeah.
The only person I'm surprised that hasn't endorsed him yet is Bernie Sanders. Like I'm surprised he's not praising him. And I wonder why.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Why hasn't he? What about Obama? I think Obama, because what he just said the other day, telling the Democrats they need to stop doing what they're doing and get their butt in the gear. He's telling them, y'all need to start fighting. Y'all need to stop crying. Obama put out a statement saying y'all need to get out of the fetal position while you're crying and start fighting. But the Democrats, they are fighting. They're not fighting for Americans, of course. They're fighting for criminals. MS-13, Trey de Agua. They're fighting for them, but they're not fighting for Americans. But they are fighting. But Barack Hussein Obama, I think the only reason why he's saying that because of this whole FBI investigation that came open. But he's lost his influence. He's lost his spunk. He's lost his grasp on the people in the stupid Democrat Party. He lost it. They'll go out there and say a statement. He'll say something and make a statement, but they're done with him. They really are. Remember, Barack Hussein Obama, he scolded black men because they did not want to support that wickedness from the West. He was upset. How dare you? You're black and you're not voting for her? Are you kidding me? No, of course not. I'm not going to vote for her. Are you kidding me? She's not there for our interests. None of the Democrats are. And I'm asking y'all again. Y'all leave me a comment. Say, Will Johnson, you're wrong. The Democrats, they're looking out for us, not for themselves. Say that if you believe it. Well, listen to this. This is a really short clip. And you can leave it split screen, I think, Shannon, because this is really short. Listen to, Lawrence O'Donnell, right? What's his name? Lawrence on the Fox News. Listen to what he says about Obama.
I think he is a leader of the past. We really don't listen to him. His swagger is gone. He used to be the president of swag. And now it has shifted to Donald Trump. I don't know how that happened. The Republican Party didn't used to be the party of swagger, but somehow Donald Trump has managed to do it.
Yeah. Yep. President Trump has grabbed it. And he's holding tight on. You know what it is? I think because a lot of it has to do with common sense. And they know that Barack Hussein Obama, what he did to the country with Joe Biden, and all of us coming to the surface now, people are not following them. People are not even listening to them. Just like I mentioned during the last election, people were like, what? You want me to do what? No, I'm not doing that. And they got upset about it. He's still upset about it. No one's listening to him. Like, dude, you're filthy rich. Go somewhere. Shut up. Be quiet. Go somewhere and sit down. But he's part of that deep state. He's part of that shadow government trying to take down the President Trump and take down America. Now, back to New York, I want y'all to listen to this report about this socialist communist, Madani, trying to take over. He's basically taken over the Democrat Party. And the reason why the Democrat Party loves him, because he's the straight up polar opposite of President Trump, America's first. He's the polar opposite. So, of course, the Democrats love him. It's just like the Democrats love Satan because it is a polar opposite of God. Just another example. That's the reason why they're called Democrats.
An exclusive story from the New York Post. George Soros has funneled $37 million to the Working Families Party and other lefty groups who then backed Zohran Mamdani. That's interesting in that Mamdani is the New York socialist who says billionaires shouldn't exist, and now look at him taking money from George Soros. He has a long history, by the way, of suggesting the future for New York and America is Democrat socialism.
We have twin crises in this moment, a crisis of authoritarianism from Washington, D.C., and a crisis of affordability here within our own city. I have said that I'm a democratic socialist, and
he's a Democrat socialist. He's happy to be one. Is that a good thing? I'm just straight. Is that a good thing? What do y'all think? I have a monitor over here looking at the comments. Is that a good thing? He's admitting that he's a Democrat socialist. Personally, if you're a socialist, a communist, it should be against the law to be in any political position of any capacity in the United States of America. It should be against the law.
There's no way you can be a Democrat and a socialist.
He's a Democrat.
They're contrary to each other in many different ways. But what he means to say is, I'm a socialist funded by Democrats. That's what he is.
I've defined that in many ways by the words of Dr. King decades ago, who said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
Right there. He wants to take he wants to take your hard-earned money and spend it on whatever. And the first time when they were talking about this dude, and I heard that he wants to take over the grocery stores in New York. Have you ever known you can take them off the screen. If you go and look at it throughout history, every single time the government takes over the control over the food source and who can purchase food and who can't purchase food, it collapsed the country every single time. Bread in New York would become $15 overnight because this dude would come in and say, well, you know what? Because you said something that I don't like, we're going to cut off your access. Or they will regulate how many loaves of bread that you can purchase. They will regulate it. And that's what they want to do. Well, you can't buy 2 loaves because you worked hard this week. You did overtime. There's no taxes on overtime, but you worked overtime hard for your money. This person over here, they didn't do anything. So we're going to take that loaf of bread that you were going to purchase and your money and give it to this person over there. And this person just going to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then the other person over there that's working hard, if they run out of peanut butter and jelly, they're going to come take it from you. I don't know why anybody in their right mind would support these people. But again, we're talking about those not in their right mind. Democrats. For those of you that are in your right mind, go to UnitedAmericaFirst.com, sign up for the free newsletter, support me. And you see right there, you see those 3 squares right there? That are the shows that I do Monday through Friday. And I do one on Thursday. But that's the shows right there. If you ever wonder, you can go there, set the time, set your alarm, set it on your mobile device for the time. Just like this one, 11 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday. Also, UnitedAmericaFirst.com/donate. Please consider supporting me. Anything helps, right? You can do the monthly subscription, which some people do it, and I'm greatly appreciative of you. Or if you just say, you know what, I like this guy, I'm going to hit him up one time. I'll help him out one time. Anything, everything is beneficial. Everything helps. Or if you don't like the digital thing, and I get it, there's my physical address right there. And I keep every single letter and envelope. From the very first one, I've kept every single one, everybody. I've kept every single one. Okay, my show that I'm doing in just under an hour from now, 48 minutes from now, called Culture Wars. I'm going to be talking about how they're trying to change what it is to be a Christian. And here's a group of people that call themselves Christians, and they're out there scolding, coming down on Christians who actually believe in the Bible. You're not going to want to miss it. UniteAmericaFirst.com. Click on Culture Wars. That's 2 p.m. on the East Coast.